And we are live.
Yay.
Okay. This is like definitely going down as one of the weirdest ones ever. I have to say that this is totally weird because I did not expect to be doing a hangout right in this very second because I actually thought that today was Wednesday morning. I literally went to sleep. And before I go into the story, I just want to welcome the great Miss Katie Stage, who has pushed me to jump on this webinar. I realized that I was dumb and I was late, but she's like, "No, just do it, just get on there." And she wanted to get it, and I was like, "It's like if you want me to come on and make fun of you, then like, yeah, I'll do that."
Did you hit the save button, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, because that's not coming up on my end.
Oh, come
like
on.
We're live here on YouTube. Hi everybody, YouTube. But on the page, on the comment page,
Yeah, I hit the save button.
could be my link, but
I gotta let me just I'll check it again. The weirdness is just like continuously like going on and on and on. I just don't really gonna check this. Oh, I think it. Yeah. Oh, did I really? Hold on.
you might have.
I see it. Yeah, no, I got it. I saved it. I got it on
Okay.
there.
All right.
Yeah, it's on there. Okay.
It's not coming. Maybe you got a different link or something. Maybe you should send that link to the workshop.
Like I got the link tied the live link. I got the live stream link tied to the Hangout. So I don't know. I just take it. But let me just keep going with this. I know I don't see it again. The weirdness. It's just like never ending. But how are you? How is your?
Good.
How are you doing? Where are you?
I'm still in Minnesota.
Still in Minnesota? You gonna be there for a while?
Yep. I'm actually helping out with my sister, and I don't know if you know this. Well, for people who are on Ricky's YouTube channel watching this right now, hello. I'm a full-time RVer. I travel around the country with my pops, and I've been doing that since May of 2017. And right now I'm actually at my sister's. Her babysitter just had a baby. So now I'm kind of helping out. Yep. I'm helping out and being a babysitter, or at least trying to be. I'm like one of the kids. They're like, "Let's play." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, the kids are definitely great. Like my niece is. I have a 4-year-old niece, and I have a 6 or 7-month-old niece, and she's like the little one, the baby is just a peach. Like she is so like sweet. Like when you come up to her and you start like getting in her face, you start doing like, you go from being grown up to being like mentally retarded. You're like, who's the baby? Who's the, and you just, you know what I'm saying? So you just like baby talk to the little kid, and then all of a sudden like she lights up with the biggest smile, and then she starts to giggle, and it's a really sweet thing. And I've if you see other people do it with other kids, it's not all that special. But with your with with your own niece, nephew, kids, whatever, then it's a special thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I can't do that with the 4-year-old. Like she's just like she's in the most like stubborn mode. Like no matter what I do, like if I come up to her, like she tries to run away, or if I try to give her a hug, she just want a hug. But if I ignore her, oh, then she wants attention. It's like the weirdest thing ever, you know. But but yeah. So tonight's hangout is just bizarre. I'm fully. I cannot even explain how weirded out I am right now because I I literally took. This is probably how it all happened. Like 3 o'clock, I went back into my RV and I took a nap, and I woke up at 7:30. But I thought that it was 7:30 a.m. Wednesday, the next morning, and I'm in like a panic mode because I'm supposed to start work at 7. So like I get up, I'm like, oh, you've got to be kidding me! I cannot believe this. So I get up I put on my work clothes. I get dressed and I'm all anxious and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna grab my phone and they're gonna be sending me text messages like, where are you, loser? You're late for work again. And I'm thinking to myself, going, I can't believe this crap. So I'm like, where's my phone? Oh my goodness, I can't find it. So I literally run over to I run back over here, and I grab my phone, and to my amazement, it says Tuesday. And I'm like, it's Tuesday, July 10th. Huh, something just is not right with this. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, my mother, I was like, it's Tuesday morning at 7:30. And I'm thinking to myself, my mom just told me that she needed me to bring her to the airport Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning, like at 3 a.m. I needed to, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I already dropped my mom off at the airport. So I'm trying to put this all together. It's like it's happening so quickly. And I'm thinking like, and now I'm thinking like, okay, it's 7:30 in the morning on Tuesday. And I totally spaced out. I completely spaced out. And now I'm thinking like it's 7:30 in the morning. It's Tuesday and it's getting darker. This is like this is the weirdest thing ever. I cannot get it. I'm like, and then it hit me. I was like, what? No, I'm like, no, it's not. And it started to hit me that it's actually Tuesday night. And I had taken a really long power nap. I'm like, holy crap, this is the weirdest thing. And then I realized it was 8 o'clock. And I'm like, my webinar, my hangout, it's at 8 o'clock. And I couldn't, I was like totally spaced out. Totally just duh. And then I sent out a message in the chat. And said that, well, no webinar tonight, because it's just going to be, it's totally late, I'm screwed up, blah, blah, blah. And Katie's like, no, just do it. Just go on a hangout. Just do it, man. Just go. So, we jump on this. And pretty much it's been like weird and confusing. I'm trying to get all this wrapped up in my head, trying to figure out what I need to do. So, it was
well, to help you feel better, I get a message from Pops. This is exactly what he says, because for those of you who don't know, I do a show before Rocket Rick here, and I do it with my Pops here. And he says to me, just a random text, all of a sudden, he's like, I'm getting set up here. I'm like, you're doing what? Wait, what? What does that mean? Like, is the mafia coming? You're getting set up, like you're getting framed for something? And I'm like, oh, we're live in a half hour. So I hope that it helps you feel better, because I completely lost time. I actually have an alarm set on my phone for at 4 o'clock my time to say, hey, get the page ready and get the content ready, or if you haven't yet, get the content ready. And it was at 4 o'clock, and I'm like, and then I lost time, and I'm like, mafia's coming for my dad.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. Yeah.
All right, today's been a weird Tuesday. It's been a weird Tuesday. It is strange, but man, like it was so weird because I got up at 3 a.m. to bring my mom to the airport, and when I got I got up, she came. It was weird from the beginning because like I got up 3 a.m. and she said, we got to leave at 3:45. So I come in the house at 3:45, and she's like, they delayed our plane by 30 minutes. And I was like, okay. So we just, took our time and got all the stuff together. And when I got back, I got back to the house, and I realized I was like, I want to get some breakfast. So I went and got some breakfast, and that was decent. And I started working on a couple things online, and it just turned out to be an interesting day. Then I started watching YouTube videos, and when I start doing that, I just get distracted, and then I take a nap, and then I realize that, oh my goodness, I'm late for work at 7:30 at night, and just so weird. So let's get into something, some cool notes that that I've been doing. Now, one of the best things that you could ever do is invest in yourself and buy training. And we're going to have just a discussion about one of the things that I've been studying lately, and building rapport with people. And if you're watching this and you're already good at building rapport, I am not. So I've actually had to go on and learn how to do all this stuff. And especially like when you don't have, that's not your profession. When you don't have an idea how to build rapport with people, and you don't even know what the word actually means, you like, there's a lot of terms that I got into this industry. I had no idea. I didn't even know what a lead was. You know, I was actually I was in Empower Network for, man, I don't even know how long. I forget. Like, it was months. And I remember hearing a guy saying he was getting like 100 leads in a day. And I'm like, what is a lead? I have no idea what that is. So then I had to Google it. I had to look it up. But you know, when you get into this industry, you're gonna hear things you've never heard of before, and you're gonna see things you've never seen. And then as you progress, it just becomes natural. It becomes like a language. You just know how to speak it. You speak the same language. But so what we're going to talk about is how communication is key to everything in your business. It's communicating. You know, when some people just are really good at it because they're surrounded by people who are just like, they're natural communicators. Their parents are really good with communication. Their friends, their teachers, their employer, people that they're constantly surrounded with. So they're brought up in that environment where their communication is just like really, really good. I was not good at communicating because I was really, really introverted. I was really, really shy, and you could not get me to say 2 words for like months. I was always the kid that was in the back, just not like super, super shy. And building an audience, I dreaded stuff like that. I can remember we used to have these things called history projects, and I would do the very bare minimum to not do anything or say anything because I was always afraid of people making fun of me. But when you in the long run, it's just not healthy to live a life where you're just not communicating with people, because you're gonna make up things in your head, believing lies, like where you're like, oh, people are thinking this about me, people thinking that about me, but you actually do more damage to yourself. And I can say that from experience, because now as I venture out and I try to build rapport with people, it's actually really easy. And when you get into the habit of talking to people who are really, really good at communicating, and you listen to how they talk to people, it just starts to naturally rub off. Am I right? Am I right, Katie Stage? Is that good?
You are so right.
Oh man, I need to hear that more often. So communication.
This is a replay.
Huh?
This is recorded and it's a replay. You can replay it anytime you want.
I can replay this. She said I'm right. We have evidence. But building your audience, communication is key. Communication is key for relationships that you're building with your family, with your business, with your job, with anything. And getting the point across quickly is one of the things that it takes time to learn. If you've never done it before, if you just are not good enough, if you're not good enough to right now, you will be. You just have to learn you just have to listen to what other people do and how they communicate. And that's by building your audience. You start building your audience, and then you start engaging with that audience with the most. Engagement with your audience is the most important step with the know, like, and trust factor. Now, if you see me looking down, I'm actually reading my notes because I want to give you the best valuable information without just quoting it from memory. So
and I'm looking down because I'm writing notes down because this is good stuff.
You are smart. This is why I allowed you to come onto this webinar with barely any people on it. That's why. So, so how do you engage with your audience? Conversation. You start building your audience with a conversation with people on Facebook or people like offline. That's actually how I got my first prospect. Is I actually had a conversation with somebody offline. The guy, but he was actually venting out some frustration about he wants to make money on the internet, but he doesn't know where to start. He doesn't know if somebody's going to teach him, blah blah blah. And I just listened to that, and I just started asking him key questions like, well, why do you want to do this? Why? And you know, are you willing to step up and, you know, follow instructions? He says yes. I was like, you want to start tonight? Because that's what I do. And he says, all right. And you know, we went on with it. So you can engage with your audience by having a conversation. You know, your posts, you know, when you post out content, put out content that's going to aim directly at your target market. Now, that actually was one of the things I struggled with for a very, very long time. I didn't know who my target market was. And, you know, Katie, I think I literally had like that revelation this week. I think I did. Because
wow. Took me 2 years.
It just took me the longest time. And I think I found it. I think I found it this week. I think my target market is going to be men who want to make an impact on their families by having, you know, being better financial providers. That I believe, because that's what I want. I started to just focus on, well, what do I want? You know, what do I want to achieve? And I want to have that financial freedom where I can just I can be with my family. I could go anywhere with them. You know, it really hit me today when I brought my family to the airport, because when I looked, like, my mom kind of said it to me, kind of like put it in a light where I realized that like I really need to step it up here, because she says, "Oh, it's too bad you couldn't go with us," and then she kind of went off. Well, it was her and my sister and the two babies. Like, I dropped them off at the airport, and my mom was like, "Oh, it's too bad you couldn't come with us," and it hit me right there. It was like, you know, if I had some time freedom, I would definitely just get on the plane and go. You know, because they're going off to Indiana to see my stepsister. She's having a baby, and there's like a baby shower going on. So and I realized that like, man, like, if I had just been better at communicating with people, you know, a year ago, I would be a year ahead of the game. And so conversation, just general conversation, you know, with with the people that actually want to buy your products, you know, your services, your opportunity, whatever it is. And I really think that that's my target market, is men who are like thinking the way that I'm thinking. The men who want to be there for the family, provide some extra income, so they can put money aside. They could put it towards a car payment. Just something so simple. That would be awesome. If I showed somebody how to just to build an audience, make money online, and get $300 a month extra, and it's going towards a car payment, that makes a huge impact on a family of 6. You know, I was talking to a guy who has, he says, I got twins on the way. I'm like, oh man. And I was like, you really need this stuff. And he said, and he's like, yeah, I've got, he's like, yeah, and I have 4 other children. So I was like, holy cow, you are one busy dude. And so another way is to engage with your audience is emailing them. You build an email list, and you start to, people need to perceive you as the authority. Then once they do that, they're already half closed, because then they say like, well, I want to get in with this guy. I want to do this right now. And you must build your audience and engage with that audience so that you have someone to sell to. And that's really the thing. Building that audience, that's definitely a challenge. That's definitely the next challenge for me personally. I got the system, I've got the webinar going, I've got, you know, the content. It's just building that audience. You just got to keep getting more people in there. All right, so where we're going to talk about next is qualified prospects. You don't want to waste your time with people who just don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. You want to work people and prove that they actually want to do this, that you actually want to join them. So what makes a qualified prospect? It's mindset. People just, you got to think straight. You know, do they have a negative or a broke mindset? You don't want to go anywhere near them. You're going to save yourself a ton of time and a ton of money, because once you've discovered, hey, you know, this person's only looking for, you know, like they just want to try it, they're going to waste your time. It's parasitic to the vision of your, you know, your future. So you don't want to do anything like that. You don't want to work with those people. You know, you only want to bring in people with a vision for a better life. Those are the people who you want to bring in, where they think to themselves 3 to 6 months from now, my life is going to get better. You know, or 3 to 6 years from now, everything is going to be completely changed. You know, that's how you get, you know, when you start putting that out there, people are going to start getting really attracted to that. And then that's how you attract your ideal prospect. Your vision is going to be so exciting. Your vision for a better life. Like Katie and her dad, they are in an RV and you've hit all 50 states? Have you hit all 50?
Not yet.
Not yet, but you're way ahead of the game of me, because I've seen 20. I've been to 20 of the states in the RV.
I'm probably right about there for myself personally, but Pops, he was as an ex over-the-road truck driver, so he's been to all 50 states, but never really had the time to visit them when he was delivering. Yeah.
And I can remember each state, and there's very flat. America is very, very flat.
Yeah.
Especially like when you're driving from upstate New York, and then you go, it's hilly, and then you go in through Pennsylvania, it's really hilly, and then once like southern Pennsylvania, you get through that, then you get into like all the other states, then it's just flat, and it was flat for a long, long time. And when we got to even eastern Colorado, totally flat, desert, and cornfields everywhere. That actually is the bigger sky, and we're going way off track with that. So I do that. That's my style.
That's okay.
That is me, and I think that's just how it's gonna be for a while. Probably.
It's okay.
But
embrace that. I do it all the time.
I just like have no clue. But anyway, Katie is like definitely the entrepreneur that I really admire her, and I admire her dad, where they are on the road again. And the cool thing is that, you know, your sister just had a baby, and you were able to go back to her, and now you're able to, you don't have a boss that you answer to. You're able to do your own internet business. You're able to do your own thing, and you're able to just sit there and take care of the kids and visit family and on your own time. It's a lot of hard work to do that, but it's worth it. I like this one. I like this next tip. So this is how to get prospects to chase you. People like attention. You know, people like attention. You give them a little attention so that they're not satisfied and they still want more. You give them a little bit of attention so that they're not satisfied and they will want more. You know, this will show them that you have other things going on in your life. They're not the only one that you're interested in, and you don't give them your full attention all the time. You give them your full attention temporarily, and then you take it away. I like that, because that gives people the sense of like, now imagine that you had like a guy like Ray Higdon. Imagine Ray Higdon all of a sudden Just he gave you his full attention, and then he took it away. You're gonna say to yourself, what? You're gonna say, I want more of that attention. I want more attention. And then you're gonna keep you're gonna be going up to his posts. You're gonna start liking it. You're gonna start liking his posts. You're gonna start engaging with that on his comments, and until he randomly comes back and he gives you his full attention again, and then he takes it away. But people love attention, and this is how you get prospects to chase you: is that you give them some good, juicy, valuable time, valuable information, and make them feel like they're like a real person. And then you'll be able to, get them to chase you. They'll start following you. They'll start subscribing to your channel. Another thing that is, now this is actually something that really caught my attention, and this has been a better portion of my life, that happiness is very attractive. When you display happiness, it is naturally attractive, and they will want to be around you more often. They will want to follow you more often. Well, you behave well, like when conflict arises, and people are just magnetized to this. People are magnetized to happiness, to happy people. The last 2 years, and it's amazing to me, but I've been back in Massachusetts for the last 2 years, and I've been going through the healing process of a divorce. And when I first got back here, I was not a happy person. I was not a happy camper. I was bitter. I was really angry. I had no peace. I was on constant stress mode, and it just was not cool. And nobody really wanted to be around that. I didn't want to be around people, and I assumed that nobody really wanted to be around me. But about a year after just continuously going to church, surrounding myself with really positive, godly people, I was able to be a lot happier because nobody was attacking me 24/7. So I was able to have a continuous overflow of friendly people, and I was able to surrender in that environment and be vulnerable. And then happiness started becoming a normal thing. And within I want to say the last 3 to 4 months, I have never been this peaceful in all my life. Never. And I mean legitimately peaceful. And it's been a common thing now. People are saying how you doing? And I'm like, I'm actually quite peaceful. And that really catches people's attention, and it's very, very attractive, and they want to be around them. And I literally will draw people to myself because happiness is very attractive. Peaceful people are very attractive. They don't know how to be a peaceful, happy person because their environment is not allowing them to, and it never will. So if they start hanging around other people, if prospects are getting in front of you, and you're a happy person, you're giving them, your full attention temporarily, and you're taking it away, they're going to say to themselves, well, that guy is happy, and he gave me his full attention, and I feel better, and I want to do business with this guy, and then you kind of take it away from them. They're going to say to themselves, this is legit. They're going to say this. They're going to say, wow, I really need to get in this. All right, so the next thing after that is how serious are your prospects? How serious are they? Is this a business or is this a hobby that they're looking for? Prospects will have more respect for you when you show how serious you are. So, where to find prospects? It's so funny because now I told I called my mom just to tell her how this whole bizarre story. Now she's calling me, so I'll call her after and let her know because she's probably thinking something's wrong. Moms, they just think that everything's the strangest thing.
Can I share a piece of information that Tony Robbins shared about last year?
Yeah.
I think it was. He says he predicted that in 2019, the number of exposures is about around 8. Somewhere around 8 people have to get exposed to your content, to who you are, before they decide to buy. Tony Robbins has predicted in 2019 that number is going to jump to 16 times. So
Now,
if you can imagine how many times you have to put yourself out there and build that rapport and get that exposure and have them buy something. I love how you said it. People are going to ask, okay, is this person for real? Is this a real business, or is it a hobby? And they're going to know that within that 16 times. And I think that number can get down lower once a person knows how to write copy. It really is. You tap into that 12 undeniable human needs, and you fulfill those needs right away. And how do you get to those? You get training, like we have that available, the copywriting mastery. And you can also go through the no's, because there's a lot of objections that people go through, and you can use those objections as to write an awesome copy to quash those right away before they decide. So that's just pretty much how it works, and it helps it out. So I want to give that out.
Yeah, and so it's really important that you start creating content now. You get out there and you start writing blog posts, you start writing your emails, and you stay consistent about how often you reach out and you connect with your audience. I've been starting to notice a trend lately that there's like a particular group of people who open my emails quite often, and I've been seeing them more and more, just in a group, like they always open it up at the same time, but they don't even know that they're opening my email as a group. And I've just been paying attention to that, and I think that's been really cool. And when you start, and it's so interesting because one of them subscribed back in September, never opened an email, and then just one of them has been consistently opening my emails and reading them. And one of the things that you can do is, when you get their name, you can try to friend request them on Facebook, so you can reach out and connect with them. Now there's it's kind of, sometimes you can find them, other times you can't. And you just have to wait and be patient until they actually, until they respond to you. So where can you find prospects? There's a few great places. Well, let's stick with the Facebook for a few seconds here. You can find prospects in real networking groups, and we're not. I did the whole thing where I used to go into spam groups, and I would just post my link and then leave, and that's what everybody else is doing. All 500,000 of them. Oh, there's 500,000 people in this networking group. I'm gonna get one for sure. And then you do the same thing that everybody else is doing. Drop your link, then you leave. That's not a networking group. What you can do is you can find these really easily by reading the rules of those groups. You read the rules and what you can post, what you can't post, and that's how you can start building rapport. You start showing support in that group, and you start showing people, hey, I know a lot of stuff. You might want to work with me. That kind of thing. You start putting out valuable content in that group, people are going to respond to that. And another place where you can find prospects is big marketers' fan pages and posts. When they go out there and they start posting on their wall, and they got 167 comments, whatever, 500 likes, those are people who are like ready to network and connect with that kind of person. If your personality is like very similar to them, and if the vision that you have for your company is the same, then they're gonna have to. You can just go in and answer the questions that they ask. You go into their whatchamacallit. Like if I've seen Dean Graziosi, he goes like on a Facebook Live, or if he makes a post or whatever, and people are asking questions, question after question. The guy doesn't have the time to answer all these questions. So what you can do is you can go in there and you can answer it for him. And it can be totally relevant to like the direction of like whatever he's talking about. And they'll say like, wow, that you really you know what you're talking about, and they can send you a friend request, or they can follow you. And that's another thing too. If you start following the people on those groups, if you start like following the people, or let's just use Dean Graziosi again. So the guy, he's got phenomenal content. He lives in upstate New York, and he just constantly goes live from his house. And you got all these people on there who are just like, yeah, this is great, this is great. You can go into those comments, find the people, and then just click follow, and follow those people, follow. And I don't think there's a limit for how many people you can follow. I don't think, is there a limit? I know
there's not a limit. There's a limit of friend requests, which is 5,000, but you can follow and get people to follow you. It's unlimited.
Yeah. And when you start following some serious prospects like that, then you can definitely be rest assured that there's just going to be a small percentage that friend requests you back. When you start following these people, then they're going to start friend requesting you. You could definitely you could do the same thing on like everybody else's posts, and they're getting a lot of engagement with that. So, and another thing too, you see it all the time, advertising. When you start seeing advertisements, especially like Network Marketing Pro, Eric Worre, you can see that there's a lot of people that engage with the guy. And if you're in network marketing, that's your whole audience right there. That's definitely niche groups. If you're into, extreme knitting, if you have extreme knitting circle, sewing circle, whatever, you can get in there and, listen to heavy metal music and knit, there's probably a group for that. Heavy metal knitters. I bet you there's one out there. And Katie thinks that was really funny, wasn't she? She's trying not to laugh. She's got the muted laugh. And the heavy metal knitters, that's like a band now. That'll be like our little band. We'll get up on stage at Live the Dream. Heavy metal knitters.
My drumsticks are gonna be the little sticks they use.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy. See, this is how we roll. We do things random and weird. Another thing too, where you can find prospects, is use the search bar. Like in Facebook, you can go into the search bar and just start typing in like particular keywords for your product, service, or opportunity, and there's like a whole, it'll pop up. But I think one of the best things you can do in this whole thing is find real networking groups, connect with people inside there, and just start having conversations. Just start answering questions that people are asking. Start solving the problems that they have. And the same thing, like you can start following people, and you can build an audience that way really, really quick. It's definitely one of the things. The very first connection that you have with this person is absolutely going to set the stage and establishes the tone of your entire relationship. Send a personal message and connect with them. Oh my goodness, you live in British Columbia, Victoria. I've always wanted to go out there, and I wanted to see the White Mountains, out there. You must love it out there. You can start something so simple and make that one little connection that you have and build that little bond with that person, then they will already feel better about having a conversation with you, you know, and especially when they're looking for somebody to help them, you know, and you have, and in it, let's go back to Ray Higdon. Like if Ray Higdon was like, oh my goodness, Katie, you are traveling to America in an RV. I've been thinking about that with me and my wife. You know, you must love it so far. You're gonna freak out and you're gonna respond to that so easily. So it's kind of the same thing. Like when you position yourself as an authority and you reach out to people and you have this connection with them, they definitely gonna respond to you that way. Yeah, building rapport, create a bond. You know, find a commonality, a shared experience. You love travel, talk about travel. You love RV life, you know, the freedom in that, you know, talk about that. And people aren't, the thing with Facebook is that they pretty much put out, say, hey, I love all this stuff. Let's talk about it. You know, like my stuff, comment about my stuff, share my stuff. People freak out at stuff like that. You start liking it and you share it, then they really, you know, they really like it a lot. You know, you want to find out what they might want to talk about. It's all about what they want to talk about, not what you want to talk about. And that actually offended me for a long time because I was like really selfish. Like I want to talk about, but I don't want to talk about. But no, you can't. You got to talk about what that person wants to talk about.
I'm the baby of, I have 3 older siblings. So I was all about wanting, when I got older and started making my own friends and getting into this industry, especially, I just got used to like, I want to talk about me now, not my older siblings. So it was a tough one for me too, to flip it and be it about them and not me. It took me a while.
Yeah, and I know how it feels to just kind of, it does. It takes time. You want to transition from, you know, being, you know, this whole entrepreneurial journey is like, it's actually more of a personal development strategy than anything else. That's the thing that I've been finding out, is that when you go to events and you sign up to, you know, go to a live event, it's actually, you're there to network with people, yes, but you're also there to change. You're there to change your mind. You're there to change into a different person. Definitely one of the things I've noticed with that. Keep in mind that this is actually a real person that you're talking with, that they have a past, they have feelings, they have, you know, they have goals, they have dreams, and you need to keep it in mind and treat them like this, because, you know, it doesn't matter like who they are. Something kind of funny the other night. I tried to go striper bass fishing the other night, and I went out at like 11 o'clock at night to this one area. It's called Gooseberry Island, and I saw that the tide was out and it was really, really far out. I'm like, there's no way that the fish are out right now because the tide is so out. The water's warm, but when the ocean comes back in, all the cold water is there and the fish are there. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'll just take a nap and we'll check on the tide. I just heard something. I don't know what that was. What is that? But anyway, so that was weird. I thought I heard. Oh, you know what it was? It was the neighbor. The neighbor closed their door. I thought like the door of my house closed. Like I'm the only one in this house.
This Tuesday can't get any weirder, so we're good, right?
I know this Tuesday has been ultra weird. Look, you can see them. You can see they're pulling away. That was them. Yeah, you can see the lights on the other car. No, really, Tuesday has been the weirdest day ever. Oh my goodness. But yeah. So I don't know where this originally came from, but everybody seems to be using it a lot. People don't remember what you said. They only remember how you made them feel. You knew it was coming. It was you who did that. You came up with that, right? That was you.
No, I don't think so.
I think it was you. I think your awesomeness just kind of like spread out to everybody, and then it was, yeah, it just went viral.
Just went viral.
You know, I made her feel something. You know, she ain't gonna remember what I said. You know, she's got like that squirrel mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's gonna remember how I made her feel. So, how do you make people remember you, and how do you make people remember how you made them feel? Compliment them. You know, Katie's awesome. She's always there. She's always dependable. She's always a big help. Validate them. You know, they work really. You know, she works really, really hard to be a full-time RVer, traveling across the world, making me jealous 24/7 because I want to get out there and travel myself. But I can't go by myself. I would do like little micro trips. I just like burst up to like Maine, and I want to check that out. Another thing you could do is listen to them. Listening to them. I think one of the most attractive things that you can do for yourself is just be a good listener. Overall, people want, it's just good everywhere you go. As a maintenance electrician, it's critical to be a good listener because you're looking for the problem and you have to pay attention to what the operators are actually saying. You know, you have to pay attention to what they're actually talking about. And if they come up to you and they say like, "Hey, you know, I think you know this particular thing isn't working," and you're like, "Okay, let's figure it out." Like the other day, there was a guy who said that he pushed the button to a conveyor belt to start it. He hit the stop button and then he presses it, tried to start it up again, and it wouldn't work. And you typically go, "Okay, well maybe there's something wrong with the button." So, but you have to listen to him. You have to pay attention, and like, okay, he was right there at the button and all that. Come to find out, like, our circuit board had short circuited. It had fried, and it was like one of those things that it literally took 8 hours to find. 8 hours, and when that conveyor belt started up again, I was so happy. I was so happy that that thing started up. I can't. So listening to people is critical for solving problems, and it's also really good that you know it actually comes back to you. It comes right back to you in full measure. I've actually had a lot of people compliment me in front of the higher authorities, saying, you know, he's a good electrician. You know, he listens to me. He listens to me. He's a good listener. He's good at fixing stuff. Being a good listener is definitely all around. Another way to get people to remember how you make them feel is to inspire them. It's by inspiring them. Inspiration. When people are inspired, they're going to remember how you made them feel. Absolutely. And you could just say the right thing at the right time that's going to keep like looping. It's like a loop that goes on and on and on in the back of their head. You know, I'm a big believer in sowing seeds of inspiration to people, because they could be like on their last leg of like there was something the other day. This guy showed up to work and his truck sounded like he had been in a car wreck or something. And it just sounded terrible. I actually thought the transfer case on his truck was damaged, because it sounded just like my transfer case from my Jeep. And I ran into that thing, I drove it into a rock and crushed it, and my four-wheel drive wouldn't work anymore. So I know the sound that it was making, and like when that guy pulled up, then he got out. I'm like, dude, did you know, your transfer case sounds damaged. He's like, so, what happened? And he went and told the story, and he was explaining it, and he was venting out his frustration. I could see that the dude needed some kind of inspiration right there in that moment. So what I did was I handed him some gospel literature right there. And I said, you know, sir, I want to give you this. You know, maybe, you know, you want to be inspired by this. And he said the most amazing thing to me. He said, you couldn't have given this to me at a better time in my life. I've been calling suicide hotlines. I've been calling people. My wife left me. She took the kid, took the house, blah, blah, blah. And I gave him that moment of inspiration. And I haven't seen the guy since because we work on opposite shifts. So it just happened that we were just passing by and I saw that. But that's how you make people remember you, is because you made them feel something. You made them feel important. You made them feel like they had value out there. You know, make people feel good about themselves. You know, make them feel something about you. Be your own self. Be your own personality. It's so funny because like I was looking at an older video that I made, and it was like the most bland, boring tone. It had no value whatsoever, and I just couldn't figure out. Like I was like, how did I let this video reach the, you know, get out there on the internet? That was terrible. But it's good to have it so that you can remember, you know, where you came from. This is a good point. You know, make people feel good about themselves. Make them feel something about you. If you don't, they will find someone else who does, and they will join them. You know, and they will join them. So you're wasting your time if you don't connect with them first. You're wasting your time. So if you're not connecting with these people, if you're not making them feel good about themselves, if you're not making them feel something, then they're gonna be wasting. You're gonna be wasting your time. If they're gonna find somebody else who's gonna make them feel good about themselves, they're gonna find somebody else who makes them feel important or valuable. I can remember years ago that this telemarketer called me up on my cell phone. I don't remember the guy's name. I don't remember what he was selling, what he was talking about. But the guy made me feel special. The guy made me feel important. And to this day, I still remember it. And I was just like, that was the most interesting I remember hanging up with him. And I'm like, that was the most interesting conversation I've ever had with a total stranger. And I think it was because he kept saying my name. I think that was it. I think that was how he made me feel important and valuable. Definitely it makes an impact. So this is definitely this has been a very strange webinar, and man, I want to thank the great Katie Stage for how awesome she is, pushing me to get this done. And this has been a very weird, bizarre webinar, but I definitely want to say that we're gonna close out for the night, and then you want to leave off with anything, Katie?
Yeah, I think webinars and stuff are triggers for me to snack on things. Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
Trigger. I always gotta snack on something.
Yeah.
No, I had some good notes actually, so I appreciate you because I was gonna be in the comments anyways and just, you know, be on the page.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to hang out here, and you can see the live action laughing at those moments when you probably knew when I was gonna laugh anyways, because that's creepy when you do that.
Yeah, that's kind of why I looked over and I'm like, yeah, she's gonna laugh at this. So
yeah,
like I looked down and I knew you were gonna laugh at that. So
yep, I'm predictable like that. I laugh at everything.
Make your prospect laugh. Make them laugh. Make them laugh all day.
Make them laugh and think. You don't want to be the class clown. I think that's what Zig Ziglar said once. You want to be someone who makes people feel good and make them laugh, but don't be the class clown. So make sure you make them laugh and then also make them think. So,
I like that. I could definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, when you're if you're like the intelligent, funny guy, like I can remember in school, I was always jealous of the kid who he was witty, funny, and he was always able to make girls laugh, and like they always were around him, and you know, for the longest time I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't. Now I get it. You know, you make them feel, you make them feel good about themselves, and you kind of like exaggerate the obvious, that kind of thing.
Right. And you don't want to be a smart ass.
Yeah.
You want to be smart, otherwise you're just an ass.
That's what you called me when I invited you onto this thing.
You're like, you ass.
Yeah.
But I came anyways.
Yeah. So that was fun. It was fun having her on. Katie, thank you again. You're amazing. And I hope that you know, if you're watching this and you watched it all the way through, congratulations. You are amazing. You know, you're for jumping on this very weird, bizarre webinar. So with that being said, there's a get started button right now where you can work personally with me. You're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that now, but I'm telling you, like, if you work with me, we're going to have a really great time. We're going to have a lot of fun, and I'm going to specifically work with you so that you know how to get started in an internet business, how to make money on the internet, and we're going to have a great, great time doing it. So with that being said, hey, Pops, I see you down in the chat. I saw you like throughout the chat, and but it was definitely cool. I hope you had fun watching this video. Thanks for engaging with it, liking it, watching it. Take care. This webinar is over. We are out of